list, and its last name is Brown.
Keon Brown.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Mr. Brown, my name is Matt Rothi. I'm the Stoughton Municipal Judge. You're here for a speeding citation, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You already paid the bond forfeiture. I have a new folder, so what I'm going to do is let me make sure I can get to it. Yeah. All right. Mary, the IT director, create a new folder for me. I see what he did. So my documents will still be where you put them before, correct?
Should be.
All right. There they are. Okay. Okay. Mr. Brown?
Yeah.
Do I have your correct address on in Schumann Street in Sun Prairie?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you're cited for speeding on a city highway 16 to 19 miles an hour over the limit. Do you understand what speeding on the city highway is?
No, sir.
Okay, speeding on a highway basically means that you were traveling in excess of the posted speed limits, which in this case would have been 25 over, and then you were driving on a highway in the state of Wisconsin.
Yes, sir.
Does that help your understanding?
Yes.
Okay. Now, normally tonight, it's my understanding you want to contest this, but normally what happens if you contest it, what I do is I enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. I schedule this for a pretrial conference with you and the city attorney. It'd be via Zoom, and we can see if you can resolve it. Short of that, there's also a guilty plea and a no contest plea as well. No contest means you want to get it over with tonight. A guilty plea means that you want to enter a guilt, that you believe you're guilty. I'll find you guilty. But I just want to advise you that you're traveling 19 over, which is 4 points. Normally, I give a 10-mile-an-hour leeway for these type of citations. If you go to the city prosecutor agreed to give me a 10-mile-an-hour leeway. That way, if sorry, I just get all kinds of pop-ups and warnings. That if you get a basically that if I can reduce this to 9 over, which should be 3 points instead of 4 and be the same forfeiture. I don't know if you want to, if you want to reconsider, or if you still want to just enter a denial and speak to the city prosecutor about it.
So if we continue, my objective is the reason I'm contesting.
You don't need to give me a reason. The problem is the prosecutor's not here. I can't learn too much about the case. The only thing I know about it is your name, your address, and how fast you were going, and that's it. So you can't tell me too much, because then I have to disqualify myself.
I really don't want to contest the ticket for the money. The money really isn't the problem for me. I just wanted to see if I could potentially get my points reduced.
Right. So I'm reducing it to 3 tonight instead of 4. However, if you want it further reduced, or you want to speak to the prosecutor about it, what I would suggest is that you enter a not guilty plea.
Okay.
Okay, that's what we'll do then. We'll enter a not guilty plea. We'll send notice to you at your Sun Prairie address, and then it will be via Zoom meeting. Just make sure that
she does it by phone.
My apologies. It's by telephone, so that way you get to speak to the prosecutor over the phone to see if you can resolve this short of a trial. Then.
Okay.
And then during your pretrial discussions, I would also tell the city attorney that you've already paid the $124 forfeiture. So that shows that there's going to be no amount owing or anything like that. I think that they would appreciate knowing that as well.
Yeah. And I also have enrolled myself in the MATC traffic safety courses.
The point reduction class?
Yes.
Okay, so you get 3 points back for that. I think you can only do that every 2 years.
Yeah, I'm saying it doesn't start until September.
Yeah, but it doesn't start until September, and it goes until October. So.
Okay, and then Mr. Brown, let me check something briefly. How old are you?
19.
Do you have a probationary license or a regular license?
Probationary.
When did you get your license?
When I was 16.
Okay, I think that normally I'd have to check this, but normally when you get your license at 16, if you have it for 2 more years, you know, so say if you get 16 in a couple days, it expires, the probationary license expires at your 19th birthday. So you probably have a regular driver's license. The difference being on a probationary license, the point total is double on the second moving violation. On a regular driver's license, they do not double.
Yeah, and I think that I do have a probationary, and this is only my second offense. So, and I recently did get 4 points for the other ticket and getting pulled over in Stoughton.
Okay, so it would be a good idea for you to speak with the prosecutor then. So I think it's a good idea, especially if you have a probationary license, and if this is your second moving violation, the point totals will double then. So, okay. And those are for moving violations. So what I'll do, I'll enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. We'll schedule this for a phone conference with you and the city attorney, chance to resolve it. You can basically see if you can resolve it short of a trial. If you're able to resolve it, the city attorney will report the results to me. And unless it's something outrageous, I usually approve them. I think there's only been a handful of cases, but those are that I haven't approved, but those are usually drunk driving offenses. So, and if you can't resolve it, we'll just schedule it for a trial then.
Okay. Do you know if we will get the notice, and will it come through the mail maybe?
For the phone
Yes.
call?
Oh, okay.
Okay, any other further questions?
No, sir.
There's somebody in the background. It's probably your mom, is that right?
I am mom. Yeah,
Okay.
my mom.
All right, do you have any questions for me?
No, I just wanted, because this next ticket, he didn't get the double points for the first one, but this next one, we just got off the phone with the DMV, would take him over, and it would suspend his license, so that's why we wanted to see if we could just reduce the points.
Okay, sure. And that would be a good idea to talk to the prosecutor about it. So we'll send the notice via mail. Once you get that, if you have any questions, you can call us back on the number on the form.
Okay, thank you
Okay.
so much.
Thank you.
Okay, that'll take care of it then. You can go ahead and hang up or disconnect.
All right. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you, Mr. Brown.
All right. I have someone in the waiting room that I'll bring in. It's Mackenzie.
DeVore?
Yes.
Okay. All right, are you Mackenzie DeVore?
Yes, DeVore.
DeVore, all right, thank you. Hang on a second. I'm gonna look up kind of your address quickly. Ms. DeVore, do I have your correct address on Arundel Court in Stoughton?
Yes.
Okay, you received a citation for inattentive driving. And we're here for pleas tonight. This is the initial appearance. Normally I take pleas of guilty, no contest, or not guilty. Guilty means that you're admitting to the offense, and if you enter a guilty plea, I'll review the police report. If there's a factual basis, I'll find you guilty and impose an appropriate forfeiture. A no contest plea means that you're not admitting your guilt, but you want it to be over with tonight. If there's, I'll accept your no contest plea. I'll review the police report. If there's a factual basis, I'll find you guilty and impose an appropriate forfeiture. Or not guilty plea, either you want to speak to the prosecutor, or you believe that the city can't prove its case, or for whatever reason, then you enter a not guilty plea. Do you understand the pleas?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so I have your correct address. Do you understand what inattentive driving is?
Yes.
Okay, do you know you're aware of the elements? Basically, distracted driving, do as affected driving, is so forth, and it's a 4-point citation. The forfeiture range, you're at $111.40 plus costs. It's 4 points, or it's $40 plus costs in 4 points. So the forfeiture range on this is going to be, I bet, let me check the bond book here. It is 50, excuse me. No, I'm looking at the wrong one. So $220 to $400. So you're not at the minimum, but you're kind of on the low end of the scale. Do you understand that as well?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Do you have a probationary license? Yes, you would. So that means that until you turn 19, if you have a probationary license, your second moving violation, the point total is double. First one stays the same, and you're at 4 points. In addition, let me talk to Mary for a second. Mary is, oh, she's on the phone. So is this one of the ones they have to take a class for?
That I'm not sure. I can check on that.
Okay,
this is
so-
the Stoughton Court calling, just wanted to
Sorry,
verify.
Ms. DeVore. What that means is that there's some citations that if you get basically failure to yield, I'm not sure, I don't think an intent of driving is, but I'm gonna have my clerk review it.
Number 608-480-3836. Thank you. Sorry
that-
about that.
That's okay. What that means is that if you have, you take a class, you're found guilty of it, the DOT mandates you take a failure to yield class essentially.
Oh, I see what you're saying, but it's, I can look on that list. I wasn't sure what you were referring to.
Right.
Okay, I have that.
Normally
list.
I have my list in court with me, but because we're all remote, I don't have that list
Yeah,
anymore.
that's 2 minutes here.
And this class is something that's outside of our control. It's just mandated by the Department of Transportation.
Sorry. Failure to yield. Okay.
It's
Do you
inattentive
have
driving.
the statute offhand? Do you have-
346.89.
No, it's not on that list.
Okay, so even if you're found guilty of this, you do not need to take a class. So again, we were talking about pleas before. So if you enter a not guilty plea, what happens is that instead of setting it for trial, I set up a conference where you can meet with the district or the city attorney, with the prosecutor in this case, and see if your case can be resolved before trial. Okay, so I've explained inattentive driving. It's not on the list. 4 points. I've explained probationary license, not guilty plea, and no consequence. Do you have any questions for the court?
I do not believe.
Okay, now's the time I take your plea. Your 3 plea options are guilty, no contest, or not guilty. Oh, before I get into that, I just want to be aware, if you're interested in points, reducing, I can't reduce the points outside of the prosecutor. So if you would like to challenge on the points, then you would want to enter a not guilty plea. Does that help? Did that explanation help?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, any other questions? Did I trigger any further questions?
No, sir.
All right. Now's the time I take your plea. Your 3 plea options are guilty, no contest, or not guilty.
I plead guilty.
Okay. You understand with a guilty plea, if there's a factual basis in the report, I'll find you guilty? Is that a yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes we're being recorded, so I want to make sure that you say it out loud then. So, all right, let me read the police report. I want to make sure I have a factual basis for the plea. And you're sure you don't want to talk to the prosecutor or get this reduced for points?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let me read the police report. I want to make sure there's a factual basis for your plea. Oh, yeah. Okay. I have reviewed the police report. I do find a factual basis for your plea, accept your guilty plea and find you guilty. Anything you'd like to say to me before I decide on a sentence?
No.
Okay. I do find the 111, you know what? You did appear tonight. I will reduce it to the minimum forfeiture, which would be $20 plus cost. I don't know if this, have you got any notice from the city about paying for the telephone pole?
No, sir.
Okay. Was the telephone pole damaged?
No.
Oh, just your car?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. Then there will be no restitution for that. So what I'll do is that I'll impose a $20 forfeiture, which would be $86.20. Do you need time to pay the $86.20?
No.
Okay. I'll give you 30 days just in case. We'll send out the notice. You can follow the payment instructions on the notice itself. So first things first, are you okay?
Yes.
All right. Second, what did you learn?
Even if my phone falls, to wait until I come to a complete stop or parked.
Correct. So you can see why the law is in place. Just to want to make sure that people avoid what you're doing. You've only been driving for a couple years.
A few months.
Oh, okay, because you were born in. You are what? You're going to be 18 this year, right?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, it's just a lot of times new drivers, they're not experienced yet about how to handle a car and so forth, and so you'll get that with time. But I just want you to be careful when you're driving in because you can put yourself and others at risk.
Okay.
Hello?
Thank you.
Okay, we will send out that notice to you. So take a look at it. And if you have any questions, give the number a call. Otherwise, it's 4 points. And then, is this your first citation?
Hello?
Yes.
Okay. After this citation, what will happen is your point
Oh,
totals
hi,
will
I
double.
just was checking if you were
And you-
going to be joining us for court.
Mary, do you mind muting yourself? All right, thank you. So if it's for the 4 point citation, you have 8 points left in the year, but if you get another moving violation, the point totals will double.
Okay.
So, okay, any other questions?
No, thank you.
All right, that will take care of it for this evening then.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Sorry about that. We had an OWI person that she was having
okay.
trouble understanding, so she's going to be joining us in a minute.
Okay,
Um,
no, I just want to make sure that that it just gets difficult to hear sometimes.
No, I know. I have to learn to hit that mute button. And I have several, once we're doing the defaults, I have about 4 that are not guilty that just called today. So I'll give you those as we're going through them.
Okay,
Here she is.
Okay.
Hi, is this Megan?
Yes, it is.
Okay. The last name is
Ledwich.
very good. Thank you.
Ms. Ledwich, this is Attorney Matt, or excuse me, Judge Matt Rothy. We're in open court right now, so we're actually being
Okay.
recorded. I'm via Zoom and you are being Zoom as well, but it's audio. I can only see you with a box. So
Yeah.
and it is being recorded. So, all right, let me pull up your file.
Okay.
What happens is it's obviously Windows. I can juggle a few screens at the same time.
Yeah.
All right, Miss, you say Ledwich, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Do I have your correct address on Rock Street in Jefferson, Wisconsin?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. You received several citations. Let's go through the first one. First one is operating while suspended. That citation carries a penalty of $124 and 3 points issued your driver's license. Do you know what operating while suspended is?
Yes.
Okay. The forfeiture range on this is $50 to $200. You're actually at the minimum forfeiture of $50 plus costs. The state mandates we add cost to your citation, so a $50 citation turns into $124. Do you understand that?
Okay. Yes, I do.
Okay. All right. The next citation is operating motor vehicle without insurance. That citation carries a penalty of 0 points and $124. Again, this is $50 plus costs. The forfeiture range on this citation is as follows. I don't have this one memorized. It's actually $0 to $500. So you're not at the minimum, but you're at the lower end of the scale. Do you understand that as well?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Now, hang on a second. Your next citation is, there's 2 more. One is called operating a motor vehicle while under the influence of an intoxicant, and the other is operating a motor vehicle with a prohibited alcohol concentration. Now, for I abbreviate them as an OWI. One means that you're operating while intoxicated, and the other means with a prohibited alcohol concentration. And in Wisconsin, for first offense, that means 0.08 or higher. Do you understand that as well?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Now, the penalties on the OWI are as follows. The face amount of the citation is $861. The forfeiture range is between $150 and $300. And they add a surcharge on there, an assessment charge there as well. So the forfeiture range is essentially between $700 and $905. Okay. In
Okay.
addition to that, you can have your driver's license revoked for a range between 6 to 9 months. Now, I revoke people's licenses according to the following formula. If you're a 0.15 or lower, it's 6 months. If you're a 1.5 to a 0.199, it's 7. If you're 0.2 or higher, it's 8. If there's an accident or bad driving, I increase it by a month.
Okay.
So that's how I schedule. And in addition, there's 6 points issued your driver's license for this OWI. and you have to attend an alcohol and drug assessment. That's if you're found guilty. In addition, if you have an blood alcohol content of 1.5 or higher, the state mandates that I order an interlock ignition device be installed in all vehicles registered in your name for a period of 12 months or a year. You also, not just the vehicles you own, but for that 1 year period, you're also required to have an IID for every time you drive a vehicle. You understand that?
Yes, I do.
You know what an IID device is?
Yes, that's
Okay.
the thing that you blow into.
Yep, in order to start the car. In addition, if you have an IID device, I have to add another $50 to your forfeiture cost. I understand that
Okay.
as well?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so that's the range of penalties for the OWI and PAC. Now, you have 2 citations, one for an OWI and one for a PAC. Now, I can find you guilty of both, but I can only impose a forfeiture on one. So I know like the OWI says 861 and the PAC says 861, one of those fines goes away. So even though the penalties are the same for both, I can only impose it on one set of forfeitures. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I've explained, you understand what OWI and prohibited alcohol concentration is?
Yes, I've done quite a bit of research since I've received these citations.
Okay, so, all right, so I've explained the citations for you. I've given you the forfeiture range. I've set forth the penalties. And if there was a blood draw, I also add a surcharge to that. It's like $84.64. I don't know if you had a blood draw or not, but that's something else I can surcharge you as well.
I did
No.
not.
We are here for a plea tonight. So let me tell you, so
Okay.
I've given you the citations. Your 3 plea options are guilty, no contest, or not guilty. Guilty means that you're admitting your guilt, and I will review the citations and impose the appropriate penalties. If you enter no contest, actually, I review the police report to make sure there's a factual basis for your plea. If you enter a no contest plea, that means that you are not admitting guilt, but you want it to be over with tonight and you're willing to accept the consequences. Again, I review the police report, and if there's a factual basis, I find you guilty and impose the appropriate forfeitures. If you enter a not guilty plea, I schedule the matter I schedule a meeting where you meet with the city attorney. And lately we've been doing that. They've been doing that by telephone. Now, the telephone meeting, you can discuss some reasons why you believe you're not guilty. And sometimes people use it to reach an agreement, or other times people want a trial in front of me. So if you enter a not guilty plea, you meet with the prosecutor first. If you resolve it, the prosecutor reports the results to me, and normally I approve it. Or if you are unable to reach an agreement with the prosecutor, it's scheduled for a trial in front of me as well.
Okay.
So do you understand the proceedings and the procedures if you enter a not guilty plea?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I've thrown a lot of information at you, Ms. Ledwidge. Do you have any questions for me?
No, I do not.
Okay, now's the time I take your plea. Your 3 plea options are guilty, no contest, or not guilty.
No contest.
You realize that if you enter a no contest
Oh wait,
plea,
guilty. I apologize. I wrote it down wrong. Guilty.
okay, you realize that if you enter a guilty plea, I'll review the police report and likely find you guilty.
Yes.
Okay, I can't bargain with the points I can reduce the forfeitures a little bit. There's a good basis, but you realize that you'll be found guilty of all 4 citations?
Yes, I do.
All right. And you still want to proceed with your guilty plea?
Yes, guilty.
Okay, let me review the police report. I want to make sure I have a factual basis for your plea.
Okay.
This might take a few minutes because the reports are fairly long.
Okay.
And is this the first time you've ever been convicted of an operating while intoxicated offense?
Yes, it has.
All right, let me rephrase that. You've never been convicted before of an OWI offense?
No, I have not.
Okay. All right, let me review the police report then. Sorry, still reviewing it.
It's okay.
Okay, Ms. Ledwich, I have reviewed the police report. I do find a factual basis for your plea, accept your guilty plea and find you guilty. Anything like to say before I decide on a sentence?
No.
Okay. All right. The police report did provide evidence that you were operating while suspended. I find the face amount of the citation to be appropriate. I'll impose $124 forfeiture and 3 demerit points issued to your driver's license.
Okay.
I also will find that the police report supplied the basis for that you did not have any insurance. I found the $124 to be appropriate on this citation as well, and 0 demerit points issued to your driver's license. Okay.
Okay.
I've read the police report. I'll make the finding that your blood alcohol content was a 0.22. There was no bad driving, but I have to revoke your driver's license for 8 months.
Okay.
According to my chart penalties. Since you're above a 1.5, I must also order that for a period of 12 months that all vehicles registered in your name have a interlock ignition device be installed, and that when you either obtain an occupational license or regular license, beginning for that 12-month period, you must also drive a motor vehicle. It must also have an interlock ignition device as well. Okay.
Okay.
I'll surcharge you $50 for that. I do find the $861 to be appropriate. So the total forfeiture for that will be $911. I'll order that you attend an alcohol and drug assessment class, and that 6 demerit points will be issued to your driver's license. Okay. So this is a lot of money. Mary, how much are the fines? Who gets there first? Okay, I came up with a figure of $1,159. Ms. Ledwich, how did you get that too, Mary? Okay, I'm pretty sure $1,159, and we'll send you a notice for that, Ms. Ledwich. How much time do you need to pay for this?
I'm gonna need probably a little bit of time. I do work full time, so but at the moment I have nothing to put towards it. But I do get paid next Friday, so I can start putting money towards everything.
Well, how much
I don't
time
know
would
if you guys
need?
offer payment plans.
Yeah, sure. How about this? I'll give you, would 6 months be sufficient, or would you like 12?
Can we do 12?
Yeah, we'll do
that
12
work?
months. We'll do 12
Thank you
months.
very much.
That way it's about $100 a month. So
Okay.
make sure that you make payments, because if you miss a couple of payments, my only option is to suspend you again for failure to pay any type of forfeitures, and I'd rather not do that.
Yeah, and I don't want that either.
So if you have trouble for whatever reason, there's a number to call. You can ask for more time. I usually have to set up a hearing with the prosecutor, but I appreciate it I would like you to pay the forfeiture, but if you can't, please let us know.
Okay.
Or if you're having difficulties, you have to pay this sooner or later then. So I will send you an assessment form. When you get it, you're to call the number listed on the form within 72 hours of receipt. So make sure that you call that number right away.
Okay.
You'll have to have the ID installed, and it's not like you can wait a year and sit it out. As soon as you get either an occupational license or a regular license, you have to get that IID installed to begin the 12-month period.
Okay, so so if I don't get an occupational license right away, it would be after the 8 months of the revoked license, correct?
Yeah, see, the problem would
Or-
be if you're revoked for 8 months and then get a regular driver's license, the 2 years period or the 1 year period starts then. So you have 8 months as with no driving and then 1 with
Understand.
the IID.
Okay,
So most people I talk to we usually conclude that it's better to get an occupational license and get the IID installed right away. That way you'd be
Right, yeah, but I have to be able to get to work, so I'm gonna have to get an occupational anyways, so.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, you'll need the assessment form, the judgment of conviction, and you need what's called high risk insurance or an SR22 form from your insurance company.
Okay,
Okay, let's see, so I will send you the forfeiture. I want the alcohol and drug assessment. Talked about that. Okay, do you have any questions for me?
I don't believe so. So I'm only having to pay for one of the big fines though, right? You said that one of them gets dropped, the PAC or the.
Correct. The total
Okay.
forfeiture for the big fine was $911, and that was part of
Okay.
the $1,159. The most of it, the $1,159.
Okay. All right, I understand that. Thank you.
Okay, now I have a question for you.
Yes.
What did you learn?
Don't drink and drive. Be responsible. Have my insurance.
Right. Yeah, you didn't have a very good night, did you?
No, it was a very bad night.
Yeah. So, and just so you're aware, the next time this happens, if it's within 10 years, it's criminal and jail is mandatory. So,
Okay.
make sure that this doesn't happen again.
No, absolutely not, sir.
Okay. Okay. With that, I'll make sure that I will send you all the paperwork to the address we have on Rock Street in Jefferson. Make sure that you follow the instructions, and then if you have any questions, there's a number on the forms for you to call.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Ledwich. You may hang up now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Anybody else in the waiting room?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. Should we begin with the defaults?
Yes, the first one, James Anderson, he's entered a not guilty plea, so that can
Okay.
be crossed off. The second one, Annie, she just sent an email that she showed up at court. She did not realize it was in Zoom. Apparently, she didn't receive. I'm just looking at my emails here. So I'm gonna reschedule her. So
Okay,
just
sure.
if we can skip her.
No problem. We'll reschedule that for another time.
Okay,
All right. The next one is Brett Bennett, and I see the plea sheet.
right.
I'm going to minimize the Zoom screen. I'll get back into my main computer. And this is Brett. Oh, Brett Bennett. All right. Okay, Mr. Bennett just asked for a reduction in the points, essentially, just a reduction in the penalties. Let me see. All right, I give a 10-mile-an-hour leeway if anybody asks. Oh, he was going 25 over. So what I will do is I'll reduce that to 19 over, which would be 4 points instead of 6. Same forfeiture of 174.40. Treat it as 19 over.
All right. The next one, I believe you're going to want to enter a not guilty plea because he's submitted pictures and a lot of other information. But if you want to read the plea sheet, I don't want to be the one to make that call.
Right.
I leave that up to you.
Okay, I just read the first sentence. He said that it was basically a denial. So I'll enter a not guilty plea.
Okay.
I didn't want to read too much.
Okay.
All right. So, not guilty. Next will be Alexandria Bridges. Default judgment. Keon Brown has already appeared and entered a not guilty plea. Thomas Brown, it's a default judgment. Martin Francisco Campo Venezuela is a bond forfeiture on both. Mackenzie DeVore appeared.
Michael Dickman has entered a not guilty plea.
Thank you. Cale Drierson, a default on all 3 citations. Thomas Drierson, default on both citations. Devonta Gaines is a default. On both. Josiah Harris is a bond forfeiture. Edward Hyman is a default judgment. Daniel Hoffman is a default judgment. Tara Holte is a bond forfeiture. Trey Husted is a default judgment on all 4 citations. Richard Lee is a default judgment. Brandon Klein is a default judgment. Megan appeared. Kevin Lund, no contest.
He didn't provide any explanation.
Okay, I don't know contest plea then. Eli Marlott, bond forfeiture.
Diana Moon is entered a not guilty plea
Okay.
today.
Not guilty plea. Thomas Paget, bond forfeiture.
Default.
Oh, you're right. Excuse me, default. And then Bajram Payola.
He was scheduled to appear. So I don't know if you want, should we be entering not guilty for those?
Yeah, well,
or-
we enter not guilty plea.
Okay,
If he defaults at the pre-trial, at least I gave him a chance.
okay.
Okay, Oleka Parker is a default. Again, no restitution. We'll hold off to see when the pandemic lifts. If
Okay.
we might have a lot of restitution hearings. We'll see. No. Anthony Peterson, default judgment.
And Anja Pustava, whatever that name is.
Anja Pustaver.
There you go. She has entered a no contest plea. It just came today, so I did not, or this evening, so I didn't scan it. Do you want me to read what she
Yes,
has
please.
written? I was traveling through Stoughton to meet my realtor to view a home for purchase. I was in the middle of a group of 12 to 18 cars traveling the same speed as everyone else. I do not understand why I was singled out. I asked the court for leniency. Thank you.
Okay, I will reduce it to 9 over for 3 points instead of 4. Same forfeiture.
Okay.
I was going, it sounded like a not guilty plea until she said for leniency.
Yeah.
Okay, next is Ruben Eduardo Reyes Sanchez. Bond forfeiture. Heike Walshall Sign, bond forfeiture.
And John Schaefer has entered a not guilty plea today.
Okay, good. All right, and then Robert Schellen is a plea sheet. Let me take a look. This is going to be a not guilty plea.
Okay.
Next is Stuart Slendy. Another plea sheet. Oh, that's easy enough. Would like point reduction. Okay. Can handle that one. Or is this a town of Pleasant or Dunkirk?
Dunkirk, yes.
Okay, radar speed was 76, 75. Was it written as a 6-point citation? Looks like it was.
Pull that up. Yes,
6 point, we'll reduce it to 19 over and 4.
okay.
Yep, there it is. I had it actually, it just took me, I had 3 reports in here.
So it's, okay, 3 points,
No, 4 points,
4 points. then
19
six.
over. It was written as 6, we'll reduce it to 4 points,
All right,
19 over.
okay.
Melinda Sloan is a default judgment. Scott Staluka is a default judgment. Joshua Valhamu Taifka Kianan is a bond forfeiture. All right, Samuel Wallin is a default judgment. Dietrich Wigham is a default judgment. Lydia Wassener is a default judgment. All right, anything else?
That's
Okay.
it. Oh, well, I'll talk to you tomorrow,
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, just give me a call. I don't have any. I don't have any really pending cases, and I had trials for one after another for a long time, but they're all kind of resolved. So I'm just kind of working and catching up. So yeah, I'll be around tomorrow. So
Okay.
so
All right, sounds
John
good.
had a separate folder for me, and I didn't use it. Then I realized that's how I can enter Zoom rather than go through the email link. So
Oh, nice. Oh, good.
yeah, so
Okay.
I didn't really need it then. So
Okay.
all right, sounds
All
good.
right, thank you.
Thanks, Mary. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.